Yeah, hi, our great people. Happy that you are all tuned to Tanya Innovations Africa, the global talk show. I hope you're all well. And for those who have gone through difficult times, we stand with you. Sometimes that is inevitable, but we also congratulate those who have gone through good times. Happy that we are going to speak to Africa and the world at large today. As I had shared the theme that we are going to look at tonight, today, of course, some of my guests, it's about 3 a.m. or so. And for that reason, we have had a little bit of time mismatch. It explains also why we've had a delay in connections. But I'm happy that our guests are here with us. One of our guests, as I told you, to represent the Africanness is from Sierra Leone, but also living in Australia. And the other one is from Ghana, the western part, or the West Africa. And of course, I'm in East Africa. So I can confidently say Africa is going to speak tonight. Without wastage of time, allow me to welcome our guests on board to say hi before we even dive into the mix of today's subject. Mr. Alpha, please say hi to our listeners.
Good morning from Australia and good evening, Africa. My name is Alpha Amadu Chalo, as the moderator has said, a Siera Leone author, columnist, and Pan-African advocate based in Australia. It is a privilege to be with you and thank Tanya Innovation Africa for creating this important platform.
Thank you. You are very welcome, Mr. Alpha, to this platform. We are very happy that you've been able to make it. Karibu, karibu sana. Now, our second guest is Wisom. For those who know Wisom, we always apply it close to God because it's only God who has all the wisdom. But in human nature, we have a human wisdom. And Wisom Addo is all the way from Ghana. And I still had somebody, I think, in Switzerland or somewhere who was saying, oh, Addo, I need to find out whether that is my relative. Maybe we shall hear that today. Mr. Wisom Addo, please say hi to our people.
Hello, everyone. Good evening from Ghana. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you find yourself. My name is Wisom Addo. I'm the director for West Africa Center for Peace Foundation. And I'm a peace educator and a peace builder. And it's an honor to be part of Tanya Innovation Africa. And it is my first time to be on this global talk show. And so thank you so much for inviting me into this space.
Very welcome. Yes. Okay. So our listeners, as we had highlighted the theme for today, Mr. Alpha will be launching a book titled Mr. President, Can We Talk? Of course, I can't do better explanations than the author of the book. So tonight we have the person who has authored this book, of course, informed with many struggles that young people, the old, average generations are undergoing in their lives. And he's here to speak what is contained in this book that is going to be yet launched in Nairobi next week. And it's for that reason that we have him on board, but also having Mr. Wisom, who is an expert in peace initiatives. And I'm happy that Mr. Wisom is also a Rotarian. Like me, Mr. Wisom, I'm a
Oh,
Rotarian. Yes, I'm a Rotarian.
oh,
I'm actually the president-elect of Rotary Club of Kansanga Club. Yeah, so I'll be the
oh,
president next year. Yes. So I'm so
Oh my
happy to
congratulations.
God.
see you. And I think
Oh,
that brings on well the whole essence of our discussion, that what Mr. Alpha has put in his book is of interest to all of us, and possibly we have insights that we can all be able to learn to make sure either we don't repeat the same mistakes, or we can be able to learn what we can do better in different space in Africa to make our continent better. So, Mr. Alpha, tell us more about Mr. President. Can we talk? What is this book all about?
oh, thank you very much, my brother. This book is a respectful but courageous conversation with power. It was inspired by the daily struggles of Sierra Leoneans, but I can compact it into a format, say, Africans, who deserve accountable leadership, justice, and dignity. It is not an attack on leaders. It is an invitation for leaders to listen to the people they serve. You know, it has been quite a daunting task to lead, and then also it has been uh, a very uh, bad uh, situation wherein us as people, as a people, we are not able to communicate with our leadership, and at the same time, they are not ready to communicate with us, or I don't know what is actually the reason. Uh, as a Sierra Leonean, what I discovered in my lived experience, it's like a transactional situation we are living. It is not like citizen and leaders, politicians that we elect to lead us. It is a buy, you buy from me, I pay you, that's end of contract in the situation of Sierra Leone. And that I believe has culminated to a situation wherein if I buy from you, I use the material or the item I bought from you the way I wish, the way I want, how I want to do it. But uh, looking at the whole situation, I believe that is not the way. I believe there is a gap. That's why I said, if Mr. President, uh, figuratively, we can say Mr. President, because he's the head of governance. He oversees everything. Whatever happens in the country, he's the leader. We ask him. So this is a question, not only the president. You could be a manager in a in a, in, a, in an organization, or like you say, you're Rotarian, you're the president elect, Mr. Wisdom. We have all these people. So we find it very difficult to communicate, because the manner of communication and the intention not to communicate or not to be accountable has led to this gap, this vacuum that has been existing for time now, because nobody is ready to ask the question, either fear for their safety, or not knowing the approach, or not having the courage, or not really knowing what their rights are. And at the same time, we have these leaders wherein, like I started earlier, that it is transactional. They bought our votes. They don't come down here to talk to us, to convince us to vote for them. They don't give
Okay.
us tangible reasons. We don't ask them questions. All we ask them, like for Sierra Leone, I can sorry if I'm giving an example of Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone, the politician will come, we campaign with a sack of rice, a bag of rice. or t-shirts, alcohol and all things, all this stuff, based on the constituency, the people they met. But this is how they get us. We don't know actually what they are selling to us, except that they give us money, we vote. After elections, we cannot access them. They cannot talk to us. So that is, if I can call it short, this is a backbone of what I call Mr. President, can we talk? If you see the subtitle says, and a conversation, a citizen's conversation with power. We need to talk.
Okay. So I think it's evident that you are representing a situation where there's a lock in the country. You want your views, or you want to present your voice in terms of things that are affecting your people and many other people, but then that voice is not there.
Yes, certainly.
Or that voice cannot be allowed.
No, it's a two-way traffic here.
Yes.
A lot of people will be disappointed because because this book, before ever we come to this point, it has been coming out in articles, being published every day in Sierra Leone and other parts of Africa. And people will think when you say, Mr. President, can we talk? I deliberately use a statement, respectful. Respectful in a way. Leaders always try to garner what? Respect, to be respected. Even though we too deserve respect, but we have made it in a way, in an upside down manner, because leadership comes from the people, power comes from the people, and not from them up there. We elect them, we make them what they are, so they are answerable to us. But instead, we are more answer. I cannot. How do I say? I cannot say answerable. I can say we are like servants to them. We serve them instead of them serving us. So people expect that this book is going to be an attack, insulting them, threatening them. No. This is not what I'm trying to build here. Is an approachable situation wherein we can meet at some point. There should be some movement,
some sort of dialogue.
Yes, let's dialogue. Let's talk, because we can only talk when we approach the situation in a very peaceful manner. It is not like now, if you look across Africa, for example, in Kenya, the Gen Z situation, the only way to talk to the government is like, we have to strike, we have to fight, we have to make blockade, we have to burn tires, attack police stations, government officials, destroy public properties. That is where we talk. But if we remember, all those items, all those resources, all those things that are being destroyed, our taxpayers' money, our money we pay as tax for those things to be put there. So we can have a way, an approach wherein we can be in a situation wherein we can talk without even screaming at each other or threatening one another. We must see people that have the courage to ask the difficult questions, while the leaders must be ready and must have the magnanimity to sit down and face the reality. Be honest, be factual, ask questions. How do we do it? How can we go about it?
Thank you, Alpha, for giving us that background information. I suppose it informs us where you're coming from and what is informing your write-up. And I'm happy that you're saying if dialogue is available, it would avoid distractions that are done and that cause our economies. Okay. Possibly, I want to come to Wisdom Addo. I know that Ghana has been, or I would say, at least from what we know, I know that Ghana is a peaceful place. Ghana is doing well economically. You have heard what our brother is sharing and the type of challenges they're undergoing. I don't know if there are any comments. I can leave it at that broad level that you will want to make about that situation and the type of environment we are in Africa. If there are things that we can learn from either from Ghana or any general comment about the process.
Well, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity again. But I think Ghana is relatively stable democratically, and some part of like we have some pockets of violence like here and there over chieftaincy, land issue, and all those things, which is seen across like Africa, not only Ghana alone, but relatively it's quite like okay. And now we have a new president, which all of us we are proud of what they are doing, trying to make Ghanaians feel like we are Ghanaians, even though there are a lot of challenges here and there. I think it's okay, it's better. And so, like in the our first book, Mr. President, Can We Talk? It's kind of like when you see the title of the book, it makes you feel like, okay, I want to question the president of something that he doesn't want to listen to me.
Oh yeah, that is, I think, what one would imagine, yes.
Yeah, that's what we imagine. And so it's an honor to reflect on this book, Mr. President, Can We Talk? Because I think it's a citizen conversation that is very powerful by Alpha, because like this is far more than a book. It's about politics in Sierra Leone, in Ghana, like in Africa, everywhere. I think it's courageous for me to be invited to, or like an invitation for Africans to rediscover the values of honest dialogue between leaders and people they serve. Because like events like across the African continent, you can we can continue to wrestle with many of these same challenges, like whether in Kenya, in Uganda, in Ghana, in Nigeria, where we have weak institutions, we have a lot of youth unemployment, we have corruption, poverty, inequality, like we have a lot of shrinking civil space and growing disconnected between government and its ordinary people. And like Alpha said, when they did vote, they will come to you, you vote for them, they become leaders, and then after they get the chance, like you don't get access to them. And so too often, like citizens are expected to remain silent, right? While those in authority speak without listening. And I think this book challenges like to have that unhealthy tradition of like where like leaders will only speak and then we just have to listen and that is it. And what makes this Afal's work remarkable is that it does not speak from a position of hatred or revenge, which when you listen to or you read the title of the book, that is what will come into mind. But it doesn't, it's instead, it speaks from the trust and that accountability essential, which are essential pillars of like democracy. And that Alpha reminds us of patriotism, which is not blind loyalty to those in power, but genuine patriotism. Because I remember like growing up, when you hear the national anthem everywhere you are, like you will stand like until the national anthem is sung, like everywhere you go. But right now, like there's no patriotism because like they see like the politicians are even misbehaving when they go to parliament and they fight and all those things. So why should I also be patriotic? But I think this book has really access to rethink, to rediscover ourselves. And Mr. President, can we talk carries a profound message? It's not a declaration or of confrontation, but an invitation to a conversation. I think it recognizes that nations become stronger when leaders are willing to listen, and that is how we build a peaceful society. That is where accountability shows. And so this book is beyond like Siera Leone, it's Africa, and I'm so grateful that we have a brother who could be able to like get into the minds of all of us, like the African continent, to write something like that. And I particularly admire Afa for his willingness to engage in this national question, like this difficult question. And I like when presidents take the book, I said, who is this guy? Like, how can he talk to me like that? Mr. President, can we talk? Yeah. And so as someone in the committed to peace building, leadership development, and youth empowerment across Africa, because my organization works, I work in Ghana, Uganda, Liberia, South Africa, and Nigeria. I think I believe that sustainable peace can exist or cannot exist where citizens have no voice, because development cannot flourish where accountability is absent, right? And democracy cannot mature when constructive criticism is mistaken for hostility. So this book really enforces like this timeless truth and encourages us to build societies where dialogue is dialogue triumph or dialogue oversees like division. And so I just recommend AFA for producing a work that contributes meaningful to African democratic conversation. And I hope this book will reach out to hundreds and thousands of African leaders, that like for them to know that like, well, ultimately, Mr. President, can we talk reminds us of our greater strength of a nation where like power and its government, but like it's about quality of the people they serve. Because when that relationship is built on trust, respect, accountability, and open conversation, like these nations thrive. And I think I'm hoping to see an Africa where all these things will happen. We talk about Pan-Africanism, but then do we talk to ourselves like as Africans? Do we share the same dialogue? Do we share the same like ideologies and values? And so I believe if we are able to join all these things and think and then to work together where borders are open, where Africans can move freely without any like hinges. Because like I remember that I was traveling to Togo and we said ECOWAS. So ECOWAS, as an ECOWAS citizen, I'm not supposed to be going through this like crazy stuff. And it's like, they say it doesn't work. And so where is the Pan-Africanism over there? So is it that like when we talk, when they get the space and then they talk on the stage and they go back is something else? And I think this book really reminds us to be self-conscious and reconsider our values as Africans. Thank you.
Okay. That I can say that is a very powerful submission. And you have emphasized a number of things that possibly would be hard for somebody to gauge from the title of the book. One is that this is not just a confrontation, but it's an invitation for a conversation. And what that means is that instead of having a look just in one direction, you're trying to say that, okay, while you have a way of how you see things as a leader, we also have a way we are looking at things. Can we get in between and be able to have a discussion? I think that is a score. Okay. Yeah. And you also pointed out something about, this being something that we can learn from one another in how to address our issues. I wanted to know, will you personally be in Nairobi? Because Mr. Alpha needs another person like you who speaks of the book as if, because I'll instantly be able to buy the book. Yeah? Will you be in Nairobi? Wisdom?
hopefully, fingers crossed.
Hopefully, yeah.
Oh, okay. So I think to our listeners and viewers, there's an important score that, we can give Alpha, possibly as a young African. Many of the write-ups that I've seen on shelves, copies that are being sold digitally, we always have copies of like those who have arrived. If it is the president, you are having copies that, or it is a president, or you are having a copy from a CEO who is in his 60s when he's at retiring age. I like the confidence that Alpha has taken on board to say that other than writing books about our experience when we are expiring, Alpha's book is unique in its own way that we're still young, we're undergoing certain conversation, and we can still share this conversation. Okay? It's not only being able to get books of those who have arrived, but even when we are still amidst the storm, we have a story to write and we can learn from each other. I think that is a powerful entry point, which is unique on the African continent. As you know, Mr. Wisdom, in Africa, we say wisdom is age. So possibly we have this habit that if I pick a book to read, I should pick a book of somebody who is in 60s or somebody who has arrived. And I like it when people like Alpha have taken the courage or they have been motivated that they can start writing about their conversation. We don't have to be perfect to put out the experiences we're undergoing and also to cause the change that we want to see. Mr. Alpha, kudos.
Yes.
I think that's a good entry point. And I suppose that any other African who is listening, or even those who are not Africans, we should be able to appreciate this trend setting, that we should start writing books about ourselves because they both help those who are in power and even young people who can be able to pick from our lessons. So thank you. Now, I want to ask you, Alpha, you are going to launch this book at Safari Park Hotel in Nairobi next week. I'm happy that I'm going to attend this launch. My question is, why are you not launching this book necessarily in Sierra Leone, and Nairobi has been taken as the space where you will do the launch?
Wow. It's a big question. I am African. And I choose Nairobi because it is one of Africa's leading intellectual and diplomatic centers. Launching the book there sends a message that the issue discussed are not only about Sierra Leone, but about Africa as a whole. I expect meaningful conversation that inspire positive change across the continent. It happens that I work with I've been in close collaboration with Scholar Media Africa. And if you recall, last year when I was in Nairobi, a young man by the name of Otiano Boniface came out and said, "Oh, I am a publisher, and if you have any work, you can bring it to me so I can do it. I will make it a very good material with very good quality." So that also count a lot, and because as Sierra Leonean and an African, it's an obligation upon me, this incumbent upon me to make sure I help build the capacity of Africans, young people, and give them the opportunity. If I have to pay money somewhere, I can do that in Australia here, I can do that in the United States, but that is Africa. I believe if I pour my money in his job, and that has created employment for him and all those that are working with him. And it also help build the capacity, give them the opportunity to expand, to learn. We have been doing it, and they also gave me the guarantee that, look, whatever you want to do with this book, launching and everything you want to do, we can help. So it is the same with Sierra Leone. There are people in Sierra Leone that can do the same. But because we cross path, and I know they want to do this, I need to give them the try. And Kenya also is home.
Okay.
It's a place where I can say it's a melting pot of God's glory in Africa. Come to Kenya today, the moment you arrive, you are Kenyan. People are friendly, hospitable, great. If you remember, I always tell, I say, I've met the most calm African men in Kenyans. The men, the women, everybody, they come just peaceful. Even though we are having our funny issues that are happening around, which this book is trying to address how we can handle that without going at each other's throats. So I believe doing it in Kenya is like doing it in any parts, doing it in Freetown, Accra, Kampala, Lilongwe, or Johannesburg, or Yaoundé, wherever I would have had the opportunity to do, I would have been there to do it. But this time, it's Kenya, Nairobi.
Okay.
And
okay.
every application, yeah.
Thank you very much. I think what is clear is that we don't even need to put focus on this commercial, artificial borders. Yeah, rather than saying, oh, I'm in this country with the border in Sierra Leone, in Uganda, in Kenya. We should expand our conversations to look at Africa as one unit. Okay. But I know that painfully, legally, we are always put within those borders. But you have been also able to emphasize the importance of honoring this young man who is a publisher. And I think we must credit you for that. Okay, so we shall be looking towards the book launch next week. You would allow me as we continue, or before we summarize, there are a number of comments online. I'll start with Lulu Grande Dem. Lulu Grande Dem is one of our ardent Tanya followers, member from the United Kingdom. She says, I'm tuned in from the UK, Tanya headquarters. Asante sana, Lulu. And just to net those who are following, Lulu is organizing an event for Africans to go and exhibit their products, tourism in the UK next year. So Lulu, we shall be coming aboard. Then there is Annette Nsovani. Auntie Annette Nsovani is listening all the way from Switzerland. Evans, I'm happy to be part of this global talk show. Thank you very much. Then we have Raquel Kiera. Yes, she's tuned in from Nairobi. Asante sana, Raquel. Ziwa Stephen, thanks, Mr. Tabingwa. We are watching the show. Yes, Cosette Visual Studio is one of the best studio in Uganda, and we appreciate you. Then we have Edward Kushemererwa tuned in. Thank you. Rebecca Pony says, what would be your advice? This is a question either to Alpha or Wisdom. What would be your advice to a young person who doesn't know where to start from? What will be your advice to a young person who doesn't know where to start from? And then we have Dr. Habiba Ngugi. I absolutely concur. Thanks for the show. Okay. I may not be sure what to concur. But maybe anybody, what would be your advice for a younger person who doesn't know where to start from? Possibly Wisdom, you want to swipe that?
Well, thank you. So an advice to a young person who doesn't know where to start. A journey of 1,000 miles begin with a step. And so each and every one of us have a hidden or no have a God-gifted or Allah's like gift. We all have our gifts in our hands. It is left with that young person to know what is it that when you do, you feel proud of yourself. Even you do it without you being asked for money. They don't pay you, but you enjoy doing it. So can you look inside within you and look for that hidden gift in you? Read books like Alpha's book, listen to audios concerning that gift that you have. Look for mentors in that field and then ask them, and then you will be able to get where you want to get to. But you cannot be in your home and say that you don't know where to start. You have to move one step, because when you move one step, then you move the other step, you'll be able to get to that miles. We all moved before we reach where we are. And so you have it. Just look within you and you can get it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'll also read from Helen Kwena. Thank you for the good work. I'm tuned in from Machakos County. Yeah, I think people from Kenya are really following. Then there is Friday Innocent Council. Friday Innocent is a lawyer. I'm happy to be part of this educative conversation. Thank you very much, Friday, for tuning in. Then Mr. Waswa Balunywa, my professor. I am humbled, my prof. Professor Balunywa is a very seasoned scholar in Uganda, former principal of Makerere University Business School, former Prime Minister, Busoga Kingdom, very polished economist in Uganda and East Africa. And he's a very proactive educator, leader, and for that regard. So when we always see you, we are indeed honored. But he had this observation. He said, there is need to have writers' clubs to encourage young people to write. Now that goes to you, Alpha. And I think maybe what we are going to do, we need to bring such people on board. Maybe when we get to Nairobi, we might need to talk to Scholar Media team to get such people, because these are people who have a lot of experience. And he even has a podcast that is training young people, especially here in Uganda. So maybe it's now about making these connections work, talk to each other. Yeah. So, Prof, I'm sure I'll bring this on board next week when we're in Nairobi, and we could see possible ways of how we can collaborate. But I'm happy that the next conference after next week will be coming to Uganda. So I'm sure I'll get in touch to see how best we can do that. Then Rebecca Pony, okay, she said thank you. Okay. I think Professor Balunywa was still saying technology is even making it easier. Yes. Yes, I acknowledge, because I've seen the impact that you have created by using your podcasts. Those are some of the comments. Now, back to you, Alpha. When this book is launched next week, how much then maybe combine it with where we can get these copies? Do we have digital copies? I am sure some people will ask, how can we buy? How much is the book? When can we buy these books? Maybe where are the outlets? Either digital or whether they are yet to be put in place.
Yeah, I want to say thank you to the listeners and viewers, and especially Professor Balua. It's a honor to have some.
It is Balunywa.
Balunya.
Yes.
Balunya. Sorry. It's a honor to have luminaries like that, to be able to listen to someone like me, you know. And before I go to your question, to add to what my brother Wisom Addo said about what to tell a young person that doesn't know where to start. The key, because the key of even being able to know where to start is to be able to know what you want as an individual, what you think you can do. Even though sometimes you may think that this is what you want to do, but and that is not your calling, as we can say in our own African tradition. You are not, it's not your calling. Education is not your calling. Playing soccer is not your calling. You have to do, but you have to be omnivorous. You want to try everything and anything, for as long as it's something that will move you from one point to the other positively, not crimes, not drug deal, not violence, not all this stuff. But anything that will move you from point A to point B, even if you cannot walk, you can crawl. If you cannot crawl, you can roll, or you can drag, but just get some movement, And also we must also take into serious consideration in the back of our minds that education, no matter how little, if you cannot read or write, the tendency for you to move or to know what you want or to even determine how to go about it is going to be a very serious problem for you. So we must not just say, okay, you can move from point A to point B, get up and go. You must be equipped. You must be educated. You must have some form of ways how to understand things, how you go about to do them. If you cannot read or write, somehow I can see you are physically challenged, because that is one very serious minus. Coming to the book, certainly it is going to be on Amazon, and by the end of next week, the price will be determined, and we're also trying to see how we can get it distributed across places like, I can say Freetown, my home, then Nairobi, Kampala, Accra, and some other places that I'm still talking to some people in South Africa, and I'm talking to some people in Cameroon, and of course, I have other people I'm talking to in Congo. But now we are on the embryonic stage, working on it. But we are also going to take into consideration. I would advise you as South African, if you want to buy the book, if you are up there, because if you can afford it, you can go on Amazon. Then for the ordinary African that are surviving from hand to mouth, because we don't call paycheck to paycheck in Africa. Sometimes you work, they don't pay you, or the money become delayed, or when the money comes, you are already in debt, you have just to repay. So we take into consideration all these things. It is very hard to earn money. We want to make it a very serious cost recovery for people across Africa to be able to get the book. Not expensive. We are working on that so we can make sure everybody will be able to get an access to it. Then the other thing again, coming back to what I was saying about education, it is very important, because my worries is not every Africa will be able to read the book because of what? The limitation we have in education, in reading. We are, like I had an interview the last time with one of our very famous television personalities in Sierra Leone, Mama Chanjalo, DJ Bass. He raised this question to me about people that cannot read, how they will get this. We want to see volunteers, maybe libraries, when people can come, you can take the book and maybe explain to them, your community, tell them what this book is about, how we can talk. It's not only between us and the president. Me and my mom respect. The mom also should listen and allow me to contribute or to participate. Things like that. I deliberately leaving out talking about the inside, like talking about economy, corruption. But the key here about this book is for us to communicate, to dialogue. So if that is to happen, the book must be accessible and to everybody, whoever and wherever, anytime, anywhere. So they'll be able to know actually what the book says, how they can approach the situation and to get a better life for everyone in Africa.
Okay, I think we come into the end of this show. We have 5 minutes to summarize, but I would like to read, there's a comment here still from Prof. Balunywa. He says, there is also a poor reading culture among university students. Therefore, reading clubs in secondary schools will be, I think, of help to catch them when they are still young to become authors. I think, thank you, Prof. I agree with you. That is a good observation. And I'm happy that also to maybe at this point to note one of our young boys from King's College Budo, and that is Israel Lubogo, a son to Christopher Lubogo. He's receiving an award. He will be part of the people receiving awards next week in Nairobi. Maybe that's an important catchment area to bring these conversations about young people getting into reading culture. Okay. Then Rebecca Pond says, what does Mr. President, can we talk, say about creating an Africa where intellectual and professional feels hard to stay and build? Okay. Okay. Do you get that question? I want us to summarize the show we have 3 minutes because I wanted us to have summary comments from each one of you. But maybe you will summarize this as you finish. It says, Rebecca Pony says, what does Mr. President, can we talk say about creating an Africa where intellectuals and professionals feel hard to stay and build?
Yeah. Why it's very
Yeah.
hard to stay and build, it is because the environment is not there. Everything about our leadership, our country has been personalized. You know, it has been like my brother Wisom was saying that, I mean, space is shrinking. There is not enough space. You know, the space has been shrinking, and then some people are falling off. Already majority, like I can go back to my book, Monopoly of Happiness, Unveiling Social Imbalance. You know, there is a very serious imbalance. You know, in my country, the leadership, the politician, all this up there, they are just 3%, like any other country in Africa. And then we have the middlemen, which are about 12%, you know, that are surviving under the 3% and blocking the way of those down there, the 85%, which is the majority of the population. And that 12%, some of them there, sometimes they'll go, and somebody will kick them down. They will fall off. These are the people that are like the professionals, and then scared enough to face the bull and come back into what, Mr. President, can we talk? You know, they are pushed out. They don't have the guts. They don't have the courage to face the bull by the horn and be factual and ask difficult questions. You know, discuss with the president, talk with him, talk with the authorities, government, institutions, talk with them, how to bring up initiative on what to do, what not to do, and what is going wrong, what can be done to fix what is going wrong. So if these things are there, certainly professionals will be able to stay, but there is no space. The space is gone. You know, it is being personalized. It's just one person with his friends, his family, his cronies, business partners, this circle. But if that circle is unchained, hands are losing, open, make it open for everyone to access the opportunities that are there. Meritocracy, you know, when people must merit what they are doing. If you are qualified, Mr. Evans, you should be given the job. Wisdom, if you are not qualified, go and get yourself well educated and prepare. You know.
Okay. I think in the interest of time, I think we can stop there. First of all, I want to invite Wisdom to give his parting remarks.
Thank you once again for inviting me. And my remarks will be, if citizens or the people of Africa are educated, are well informed, leaders are able to rediscover themselves and the values of Africa, and everybody is inclusive of everything, including the national cake, we will have a continent or an Africa of patriotism, an Africa of intellectuals. And so let's rethink about it and then reset our minds towards it. Thank you.
Thank you. The author himself, parting remarks?
Mr. President, Can We Talk is a book for every African who believes our continent can do, willing to talk honestly. Together we can build the Africa we all dream of. I thank you very much. God bless you. God bless Africa. Are you there?
Alpha, you can hear me?
I can hear you.
Alpha?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
All right. Okay. Yeah, Alpha, you can give us your closing remarks.
Yeah, I want to thank you, all of you that join us. I invite all Africans to read and ask questions and become part of the conversation. Real change begins when citizens and leaders are willing to talk honestly. Together, we can build the Africa we all dream of. This book is, I believe, is for Africans who believe our continent can do better. It challenges leaders, empowers citizens, and encourage constructive dialogue. Like I said earlier, copies will be available on Amazon and other platforms. And like I said, we'll be having them in different capital cities across Africa, and they will make it very much cost recovery, very cheap, so that you'll be able to access it. And I want to invite you all to come to Nairobi and be with us, friends, brothers and sisters, and even leaders. We invite you all, and we are here to learn. We are not imposing anything on anyone. I personally don't believe in imposing. I believe in learning, in participating, in everybody's contribution. I want to thank you, the Tanya Innovations Africa, and my brother Wisom Addo, and all of you out there watching us right now, or listening, or who are going to listen or watch this thing in the future. That this book is for you, it's for everyone. Even if you're not African, I think we need to talk. So
Okay.
if I can say anything, I will say, Mr. President, can we talk?
Okay. Okay. Before I summarize, I want to acknowledge the right type by Dikuso Daniel. He says, this is a great topic book. Huh? This is a great topic. Book writing tells us the history. Thank you, Dikuso Daniel. Florence Odanga says, happy to be here. Great minds indeed. Kalans is also one of the award winners in the category of upcoming innovations from Cavendish University, among those that will be awarded next week in Nairobi. And Kalans is part of the mentee. He's part of Tanya Innovations mentee. Yeah, so I'm happy that he's also been able to achieve this award. He says, thanks for sharing the knowledge. Then still, as Kusoka Daniel says, thank you, Tanya Innovations Africa, for this innovation. Thank you, thank you. So as we come to the end, I want to first and most importantly, thank our listeners, the viewers. You've been able to put in time, you've been able to put in money, because I know data is expensive for 1 hour. And we can't take it for granted, because without you, we can't cause the change and impact that we want to make. We've had people, somebody like Sovani, Annette is all the way from Switzerland. We thank you for taking time to tune in. People like Professor Balunywa, I know you're very busy with many other things. Thank you very much. We've seen Lulu, all the way from the UK. Thank you very much. Many Ugandans who have been following here, we can't thank you enough. The big following from Kenya, I suppose they will also be coming to attend the conference. We can't take this for granted. Every person that has been online, we appreciate you so much. I also want to take this opportunity to thank Mr. Wisdom Addo. Thank you very much. Indeed, you are a peace, you're a peace expert. We've enjoyed you on this show, and you have indeed come out with a lot of wisdom. And I suppose that that's the reason why Tanya Innovations brings out this global talk show. We try to scale minds beyond borders. We have people with a lot of talent, but they lack the platform unto which to pass that wisdom to other people. And these type of conversations, I'm sure that bring out the talent. They're able to bring out people like you to speak. I think we shall make other topics that you can be able to come and share with us in future. And
Thank you.
Mr. Alpha, thank you for the courage of this write-up. I hope that we shall have these books available, and we can manage to be a selling point in Uganda. I know I heard you say you loved Kenya because Kenya is the best, but I think next year, as you come for the conference in Uganda, you might not even go to Australia, because this is a country on another level. Yeah, this is the pearl of Africa. So to the listeners, please, we are going to Nairobi. We shall be in Nairobi next week. And the next conference, 2027, will be live here in Kampala. And Tanya Innovations Africa will be the host. Thank you very much, and God bless you all. Asanteni.
Asante. Thank you very much. Thank you, Wisdom.
You're welcome. Thank you. You're welcome.
Can we talk?
Yeah.
Okay. No, we were still live.